start off with introducing yourself and what you do to everybody that's listening?
Absolutely. So my name is Tom Beatty. I am owner, and I like to call myself the lead inspector of Inspection Services of Wisconsin. Been in business since 2017, and I am a licensed home inspector for residential real estate transactions. I do commercial real estate transactions. I'm also certified for radon measurement, and recently here I'm certified for well and water testing as well as septic inspections. So I run a couple of different things, but bottom line, I get to work with Briana on a regular basis.
Can you walk us through what you actually inspect in a home? Like, are there things that people often worry about that don't really matter? Or like, what do sellers often overlook that ends up on the inspection report?
Yeah, it's a great question. So just focusing on that residential inspection component, there's over 50 systems of that house that we're looking at when we do an inspection. And I think the best way to kind of flush all this out is just to say, generally speaking, we will be looking at about an hour per 1,000 square feet when we think about time frame.
Yep.
So everything from the roof covering all the way down to the foundation. We're looking at electrical, we're looking at plumbing, we're looking at functional flow, functional drainage. Are things working the way they should be? Are there areas that we should be focusing on where there could be issues or problems could arise? And so we're there just trying to read the house, to be frank with you, just to try to understand that book and let you know what you're getting when you purchase that house. And as far as are there things that don't really matter, it's such a subjective scale because in that offer to purchase and in our definition of defect, it talks about significant, and that's really up to the buyer. But I will say, when you think about that house, think about the things that you're comfortable fixing compared to the things that maybe you don't have that knowledge base in. And
Yep.
that's kind of the litmus test that I would use to identify are the things that are significant or are not significant, or things that you should worry about or shouldn't worry about. And as far as overlooking items from a seller's perspective, it makes a ton of sense just to make sure your smoke carbon monoxide detectors are installed in the right spot. Make sure you're painting on the wood, any wood exterior surfaces you have are painted or sealed. Just those
Mhm.
maintenance items that oftentimes show up either from the appraisal side of things or from the inspector side of things that are easy to fix.
What are like the most common issues that you find during inspections, and which one
Oh,
could be easily avoided?
yeah, yeah. So eh, going back to that painting, caulking, that exterior maintenance, that's so incredibly important, especially when you're selling a house. And I
Yeah.
get it, it's tough when you're listing a house, things move quick. But if you think you have a 6 month window or 8 month window before you think you might list the house, tackle some of that stuff then. It'll still be good by the time you list it. And you'll be ahead of the game. Um, the other thing, and I ran into this today, if you're thinking about listing your house, think about how are you going to secure your personal items when you have folks walking through your house. And I just, if you don't mind, I'd like to elaborate on this one a little bit.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, this morning on the house that I inspected, now thankfully I was the only one there, but we had a couple of firearms out and available on bookshelves and end cases and that kind of stuff. Wisconsin's a wonderful state. We're pretty much all hunters across the state. We're all comfortable with firearms,
Yeah.
but you never know when that buyer is bringing a kid into the house. And I've had it a couple of times where you go to open a bedroom door and behind the door, there's a firearm. And with kids running the house and that kind of stuff, you just, as a seller, I think it's on your shoulders to make sure that that house is safe for anybody who could be coming into it for that showing. So secure your personal belongings, anything that you think might be where something that could cause danger to somebody else. Just go ahead for that day, for that 4 hours that you might not be there. Put a trigger lock on it or secured in a safe or something like that. It'd be just a really fantastic idea.